Thank you very much, John. This is my mug here from a while back, as you can tell. I am the rookie in today's presentation, as I've only been at Argent 10 years. But I'm here to talk about the small cap portfolio, for those of you I haven't met yet. And the small cap portfolio follows the Russell 2000 index, which is a specialty index of smaller companies, rather than what you normally hear us talk about, the S&P 500, et cetera. And we're all familiar that during the time that the Argent small cap portfolio has been open, we know in 2008 and 2009 with the Great Recession, there was a lot of pullback in the market. But we've accelerated from there. What I want to talk to you about today is there's actually been 3 more significant corrections in the Russell 2000, or small caps as a whole, since that time. There's been a negative 24% correction in 2011 in August, another 24% correction in the second half of 2015, and we're going through another one right now, which as of today is the smallest one at 14%, but I have to be careful what I talk about since the market's still open and moving while I talk. But the point of the slide is, like John talked about, volatility is coming back into a normal range. Small cap is more volatile. You see all the corrections here since 2008. And that is normal. And while we're not happy about how the market's been acting over the short term, and we're always striving to improve performance of the stocks in the portfolio and how we pick stocks, we're focused on the process that John talked about. And Logan said it earlier, while the process doesn't work every time, it works over time. This slide might be a little small, but what you see here is a big ship sinking at sea, and the captain saying, "Don't panic, this is just a correction." While we don't think that the ship is sinking metaphorically as we went through Ken's slides on the economy, we do want to stop and say, don't panic, be patient. Because Warren Buffett said, time is an important factor when you start talking about stocks in the equity market. One of the stocks I want to talk to you today about is Lamenting Holdings, and we've discussed this at previous Bogey Club presentations. And since I know a lot of you frequent these presentations, I want to give you some continuity and a quick update. This is a stock that we purchased back in 2015 and has worked out, just kind of as a quick reminder, Lamenting technology is the technology that is responsible for your new iPhone unlocking automatically when you look at it. It uses your face as a security ID on your phone. That's their technology. And we bought this stock in 2015. Wrong button. It's done pretty well until the last year or so where it's been kind of flat, and we're being patient with the stock. And people say, well, how do you decide to be patient with a stock? John went through some examples. And so one of the examples that he used was the earnings per share, the EPS. And so when you think about the earnings per share in Lamenting, you might say because the stock hasn't really been moving over the last year, it's because the earnings aren't improving. Well, as you can see in this slide, the earnings are continuing to improve over this entire time frame. And this is what we would consider good fundamentals to the story, good fundamental growth. So you have the earnings that are improving, but the stock isn't acting correctly. Well, this gets us to the PE ratio, or the relationship between the price and the earnings that John talked about. And as you can see, the price-earnings ratio is continuing to get more favorable. It's getting cheaper. Here in this 8 times range that John was talking about. High grower, improving earnings, and people are still only paying 8 times those earnings. These are the favorable valuations that we like to look at. The next stock I want to talk to you was Columbia Sportswear. Is anyone familiar with the Columbia jackets or the coats? Okay. Yeah, quite a few people today. And also they own the Performance Fishing Group, PFG. It's another outdoor brand. John's got 2 daughters at Mizzou, and he was able to verify for us when he was up there for game day that the students at Mizzou are acutely aware of the Performance Fishing Group as they're wearing all that gear on campus during game day. So that's good verification for us. This is a recent addition to the portfolio. We bought this last year. And as John talked about, one of the tenets of our process is change. And this is a stock that we purchased as they started to accelerate into their profitability, into their brand. And so we're looking for good things going forward from Columbia. The next stock I want to talk to you about was a nice St. Louis company called Callaway Golf, and although they don't usually need an introduction, they make golf clubs, golf balls, shirts and hats, etc. But they've also been using their strong cash flow to buy non-golf related businesses to diversify their revenue and earnings from their summer season, as golf is primarily a summer sport. This is also a recent addition to the portfolio in 2017. Now, a quick show of hands, how many people were actually listening to what I said, or were they all staring at the Bugs Bunny swinging the club? Thank you, Bugs. People always ask, well, how is Callaway a St. Louis company? Well, it's not really a St. Louis company. They're not here in St. Louis, but they are a partial owner of Topgolf. And Topgolf, this is a picture of the Topgolf that they just built out in Chesterfield, out on Highway 40. Has anyone been out to the facility out in Topgolf? So a couple people. It is incredibly busy. It's super hard to get a tee time here. It's an impressive facility for practice range. They have a bar for happy hours that people go to. It's been really busy. Busy is good for Topgolf, and busy is good for the Callaway stock price. Last but certainly not least, we are very happy to introduce that the small cap portfolio is now available as a mutual fund. The ticker on that mutual fund is ACMSX. You now can track the mutual fund openly on the market on a daily valuation, as Stephen indicated earlier today. And this is a very important milestone for Argent. You're talking about 20 years in the business, 4 successful products, and now our first mutual fund. Hopefully there's more to come. But it's a very important step for us in how we deliver our services to you, our clients, your advisors, and our institutional clients that are also asking for this kind of demand in the mutual fund. Thank you very much. I have Logan coming up for closing remarks.